Welcome to Malachi's Message Toxic Mold Sucks Story Series, co-hosted by the co-founders of Malachi's Message, Emily Rochelle and Elizabeth Cripe. Here we will be interviewing and hearing from people who have been through mold. We hope that this helps others feel not alone, not crazy, and that it gives them the strength, hope, and resources that they need to continue on in their journey.
So welcome to another episode of Malachi's Message, Toxic Mold Sucks Stories. That's a mouthful. If you're wondering where, if you guys watch this regularly and you're wondering where Emily or Elizabeth or why there's a couple of hairy dudes on here, we're doing kind of a special episode of like the husbands that have dealt with this and kind of talking through a different aspect of it and hopefully reaching out. I know for me, I've heard like so many stories of people that go through mold and either the wife or the husband, one party thinks it has all these health problems and it's real to them. And, the other party doesn't see it that way, or they wind up getting divorced, and it just winds up making a really awful situation that much more messy. So I think today with our guest Brandon, I guess we're gonna call him BA. I don't know how BC we got to be with this here, but Brandon Cloud is our guest today, and we're gonna be talking with him and about his story and some of the stuff that's going on. And I know Brandon personally, and so it's a really cool story. So I'm kind of excited to get to do this. So before we do that, need to give a quick shout out to a sponsor. We want to thank Canine Mastery out of Bastrop, Texas. Canine Mastery is one of our tier 2 corporate donors. It is their belief that every dog needs a job and every dog needs a master. Dogs thrive on structure and discipline, and through their balanced training methods, you will see your dog flourish, become happier, have more fun, and become more bonded to you than ever before. Their balanced methods use both praise and correction to clearly communicate your expectations to your dog in a way it will easily understand. So if you guys have dogs and you want to get them trained, look up Canine Mastery if you're in the Texas area. Or heck, see if you can ship your dog to them if you're not in the Texas area. I'm gonna see if they ship kids. I don't know. See if that works.
Yeah.
But, just kidding. Please don't come to my house. So anyway, yeah. So what's up, dude?
What's up? How's it going?
Good. Glad to see you off of work.
Yeah. It's working all the time.
Rare.
Yeah. Seems like all I do anymore is just work. So
right on, man.
Yeah.
So no, it's same thing here, man. So let's kind of dive off into this.
Yeah, let's do it.
What would you, so as we get into mold and stuff, like it's weird to think about, but like we had lives before all this stuff, right?
Right.
So what did your life and your relationship with Lauren and your kids and stuff look like? What was going on prior to this ugly mold thing?
Prior to this ugly mold thing, we were, a happy, healthy family. I mean, we had our problems just like any other marriage, but for the most part, we were, doing well, thriving. Lauren had a side hustle she was doing, staying at home, taking care of our daughter Skylar. Our oldest was in school and I was working. Things seemed to be trucking along pretty decent there for a while. Mold wasn't really a thought, it was always, I would deal with mold, in an ice chest when I clean it out and spray some bleach in it. And that was about as but as much as I thought about it, Dad, rinse this out and scrub it out, and we're good to go. It really didn't have any effect on me before, we actually found out what was going on with my wife and daughter. So, yeah.
So walk me through that. Like how did that story, how did your story with mold unfold? Like how
Oh, so we started noticing some problems with our youngest, who was staying home with my wife all the time. They were both actually going through some different health things, but we really picked up on my daughter Skylar. Picked it up with her first. She was having trouble with potty training, having these drastic fits that we couldn't seem to understand, skin rashes, breathing problems, all kinds of health things going on. And on top of it, she wasn't progressing. We could tell something was wrong. Like, she wasn't progressing as fast as we thought she should, because we knew she was very smart and very intelligent child, but something just seemed off. We ended up taking her to see a doctor, or we take her to see her regular pediatrician, who said, "Oh, it's just typical. She's just a 4-year-old. It's terrible, terrible twos and threes. And you'll get through it, and don't worry about it." And especially my wife Lauren, her gut instinct with being home with her every day, really, something was telling her something was right, was not right. And so we got a second opinion, went and saw a doctor who did some blood work on her, came back and turns out she has pandas. And she said, "You guys have mold in your house." And then we went down that rabbit hole trying to figure out where it was. Had Texas mold inspectors come out and inspect everything. Josh, great guy with them, came in. He found it in our AC unit. He actually didn't find it. He told me it was in there, and I didn't believe him until I cut it open and found it for myself. And then also, so we figured out
so
that what was going on with my wife as well.
so the doctor was able, like, had seen the stuff with pandas, like, enough to just, like, definitively say, like, your daughter has this is what's going on, and you guys have this, like, just off of
Blood work. Yeah, she saw the markers on the blood work and read them and said, based on what I'm seeing here, this is what you guys have. And I was like, okay, yeah, right, whatever, blew it off. Like, this is a quack doctor, so she didn't know what the hell she's talking about. Yeah. And of course, me, the whole time I feel fine. So it's hard to believe something when it seems like everybody else is sick and you're not. It makes it that much more difficult to believe what's going on until you actually see it for yourself.
So what kind of went from, where did it go from there? So because you said Lauren had there was some stuff. So your girls are showing these signs. You're seeing stuff. Is Lauren starting to see these kind of markers and stuff at the same time?
So Lauren was getting worse too. Her health was deteriorating at the same time that Skylar's was. I'd come home and she hadn't gotten off the couch all day, and that's not like her. She's a very motivated, very go-getter kind of personality, and for her to be just laying on the couch crying because her whole body hurt or because she couldn't move and was having body shocks and all these health issues, it was really scary for me to see. And so we went back to the same doctor and they did blood work on my wife. And I mean, she has SIRS, which is chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and Lyme disease. She found the markers for both of those. And apparently that is also caused by the mold. So we have pinpointed the problem at that point. It wasn't so much my oldest daughter or myself, because we were leaving the house every day. My oldest daughter was going to school every day and I was going to work. So it was really kind of affecting the two people that were constantly in that environment. Which is why I think it, and we, yeah, it affected my oldest daughter too, just not as much.
So you didn't notice anything different about yourself or
No,
as far as,
no, we've never run any blood work on me to see anything, but I've never felt uh, different, and it's extremely frustrating. So, believe me, I would like for there to be an excuse for some of the ways that I am. So, but I think it's just upbringing and good old fashioned me problems.
I didn't really think about it that way before, but maybe we both need to get blood work because
I
that would
know,
be
right? Yeah,
really convenient. Huh.
yeah.
Well, we'll look
It'd
at
be
that
nice.
later.
It'd be nice if she told me I'm a stubborn ass, and I'm like, oh, it's because of the mold. Like, I think I got blood work that says this.
Your stubborn ass markers are just off the charts. We really haven't
Yeah,
seen this, Mr. Cloud,
yeah,
before, but we believe it's because of mold. And be like,
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes,
let me know. No.
I'm in the 96th percentile on my stubbornness. Like,
Told that teacher lady.
yeah.
Well, cool. So when you guys found out about this, like what was your initial reaction? Like what do you do at that point?
What do I do? Personally, I mean, it's hard to say, but it took a long time for me to believe it really did. Like, I thought she was crazy for a long time. Like, and it 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 was really hard to like come to terms with it. Um, and I've talked to other men that are in the same boat, and it's like, dude, it's real. What's going on is real and needs to be addressed. And as men with wives and family members that are dealing with this stuff, it's our job to kind of step up and take control of situations and help them as much as we can and be there. So we came up with the plan to fix the mold problem in the house and get out. That was the step that I decided to take us on and get us out of the house and the environment. Um, Men, we tend to be fixers, and I just cut the head off the snake and get out. There's nothing more to do at that point. So we did exactly that. We replaced the part of the air conditioner that had mold in it, and we sold the house and moved into an apartment down the street. And I mean, that was what we did.
And just time frame, like so how long ago, like from when you guys first started seeing symptoms to when found out there was mold to when you guys moved out, like how long are you talking about there time frame?
So yeah, I would say we started seeing symptoms in 2018, I would want to say, and then things were getting really bad in 2019. And then by the end of 2019, actually it was right before Halloween 2019 is when we moved out. We got the house out. Yeah, got out of the house and moved, which was it's hard.
So about a year.
Do what?
So about a year from when you guys
Roughly a
started.
year. Yeah, I would say roughly a year. I'm sorry. Yeah, roughly a year.
Okay. So you moved out, you moved into the apartment. How did your life change from there?
Oh, well, everything changes because of mold.
but how did your, because
my personal
how did your life change? Like, what was different for you that you're like, why, like,
it's the little things for me. And me and Lauren talk about it all the time. I've talked to you, Derrick, about it just the other day. It's the little things you don't know that you're going to miss, right? Like just being able to walk in the house, and kick your boots off. Everything's got to be a certain way and decontaminated, and you got to think about your outside environment and what you're bringing into the house and what deodorant you're wearing and what shampoo you have on and what laundry detergent you have. And it's a lot to adjust to, especially when you don't have any symptoms yourself, right? Like the laundry detergent doesn't make me sick, but it makes my family sick. And so it took some getting used to adjust to that and be cautious of that. And a lot of that was just with Lauren, she just eliminated it. We didn't buy that laundry detergent anymore. We, switched to cleaner brands and toxin free and all that. A lot of it I didn't even really have to deal with personally. It's just you start to miss those things. And it being able to sit at a campfire is one of my big things. That's Lauren and I used to spend a lot of time doing that, spending time at the ranch, having a cold beer and just being outside in the woods. And that's one of my favorite places to be. And, nowadays when we're at an event like that, she's inside, and I'm out there by myself, and I miss that. I miss being with her and spending those moments with her, because that's a big part of who we were. So, I mean, there's I could talk about things that changed for hours. I mean, everything. Your environment changes, your attitude changes. Everything is different from that point. You're looking at your vehicle to your shoes to, I mean, the electronic devices that you carry, like everything can be a suspect as to causing some kind of, toxin or hazard in your home environment. And when you look at the world through that lens, everything can, it can be stressful.
So because that's very true. Like you, and you start to feel like, I don't know if paranoid is the right word, but like I think you hit the nail on the head saying that everything is kind of suspect. Like, so yeah. How have you, like for yourself, how have you, because you can't live life that way, right? At least long term.
Right.
If everything is suspect. That I think that's one of the things, like, that's one of the things I know Liz and I have talked about for different things, whether it be COVID, whether it be mold, whatever. Like, there's a certain point where, like, how much life are we not living by being worried about all of these things that legitimately that are legitimate concerns in our life, but we can't control every aspect of everywhere we go.
Right.
Case in point, we went to church the other night, and we thought we sat in the right spot, and somebody walked up behind us wearing super strong perfume, and then so what
it was just the other day. Well, I went to my brother's house to he lives in an apartment down in the Heights, and I visited with him for a few hours. Didn't think anything of it. He was just lending me some clothing for my new job, and I came home, and Lauren had a reaction to something that from his house that was on my clothes, and like it was, it's frustrating, because it's like, man, I can't even go visit a family member. I have to, be this way. And like, I should have, and at the same time, I felt bad because I should have thought about it. I should have stripped down in the garage and, taken that extra care, but you forget about it. It's still a learning process every day especially for the person that doesn't have, any problems to mold per se.
Oh, yeah. Because I know you and I have talked about it before. It's like, man, I think you hear like, I just want to go somewhere where we can have a campfire and wear cologne and get that fresh Downy, that fresh spring scent Downy going on our clothes for the week, and like, I'm like, it's true. Like, you don't think about that stuff anymore. You don't think about those things, and yeah, we've had well-meaning, you said going to family. How there's another thing. How was that? How'd your family, extended family, your parents, her parents,
how have they taken it or dealt with it? Not always well. Not always with open arms. They're still learning too. I think, you know, parents, especially, parents are kind of ingrained, you know, in old school, and have, you know, the old saying, the older you get, the more stubborn you get. You know, set in your ways. You know, it's been hard. Not everybody's been completely accepting, but I think for the most part, everybody's trying to understand and trying to be the best that they can be, for us, and help us through it, as in their own different ways. Um, am I saying that everybody's like making sure that there's no special sense when we walk into their house? No, but we also don't expect that of people. You know, we're not those kind of people that are going to. It's kind of like with, you know, things that have been going on globally recently with, you know, the virus. It's, you know, we feel like it's really up to us to take care of ourselves and not up to other people to cater to us. You know, that's my job to take care of myself and my family, not them. And so, but coming with that, that means, you know, if we feel like it's an unsafe environment, then we may not go. We may not show up there. We may choose a different venue, or see you next time, or have those people over. You have to make adjustments, just so that your family doesn't get sick. But again, I think everybody's pretty much trying their best. I'll say that. It's not perfect at all. There people butt heads. No, not everybody understands completely. You know, we got some family members that are like, I don't understand. You know, you're sick, you go to the doctor, you get a shot, you're better. Like, what is this? They don't understand the whole chronic illness. And, you know, I've told Lauren before, you know, it would be easier if she had cancer, because that's something that people can comprehend. That this thing is invisible, and there's so many things that come in that I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, there's so many things that can upset it, that and cause a problem with having something like SIRS and or Lyme disease, that you don't even realize. And we still don't realize. I mean, I could do something new today that I've never done before, and it causes a problem for Lauren, or Skylar, my daughter. So yeah, it's I'm sorry for rambling.
You're good, man. You're good.
I keep
Like,
trailing off into different things.
no, because like I think that's one of the things, right? Like, I get it when you say cancer. Like, people know what cancer is, or at least to have, like, I think if you walked up to somebody, you know, and said, "Oh, my wife has cancer," they're not going to be like, "Oh, well."
And to be clear,
what does that mean? Like, you know
clear,
what I mean?
not to say that like people with cancer have it like easier or anything. That is
Oh,
a
no, 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 no,
terrible
no, no,
thing.
no.
Yeah, and I want to be clear on that. Like, it's just like, as far as comprehension from some people, people don't seem to comprehend what we're going through. And but people
It's more
understand.
mainstream.
It's more mainstream. It's more in your face. It's more known about it. People, and it's less questioned. Okay, this person has this going on, and this is what they're going through. People don't take the time to understand things they don't know about. And you really kind of find out who your friends are in a situation like this, and friends and family, and who really is trying to understand. And I mean, it's hard to go through.
Yeah. And I mean, that's like, even for us, I didn't know what I had to ask Liz a couple weeks ago. Like, maybe it's just that lifestyle. Like, there's so much stuff that, like, oh, you know, and Skylar has pandas. I'm just like, yeah, okay. And this couple weeks, I'm like, hey, what is pandas? Like, is this like a cooking Chinese bear, or is this like, what are we dealing with here? So, like I said, even though that's something like I didn't know about, I think, again, I just accept it on face value more, because again, that's the life. Like, okay, there's all these, you know, I think at this point, I know that there's all these other secondary or tertiary conditions that are brought on, or kind of maybe dormant, and are kind of brought to life by long-term mold exposure.
Right.
And there are a lot of names and acronyms nobody's ever heard of before, except some specialist somewhere that knows about it. So where did it turn for you? Because I know I know there was a long time kind of struggling like that internal um, that internal struggle of like, okay, is this real? How do I deal with this, or how do we go about this stuff? And I know from our conversations, I know from you know, you brought up the idea of like doing the retreat because um, you know, I think out of like there's got to be, I think if I'm not mistaken, some of that was like there's got to be other guys like me that feel this way and need that space. So and then you know, was it last week or week before you brought up that post on Facebook, um, which was really cool and really cool is not a good word. That's an overused word, but it's really honest and uh, really genuine uh, post that you put about your wife and seeing this stuff and how you've kind of struggled with it and wrestled with it and where you're at now. So what kind of, where did it get to the point where you're like, okay, I've got to change something. Something with me's got to shift a little bit here. Where did that come about?
I can't say that there was any defining moment where I like rolled out of bed one morning and was like, today's the day that I'm all gung ho about it. It's been a long, painful process that I'm still going through. Um, you know, basically what that post on Facebook was about was I realized at some point, I don't know, within the last year, 6 months, days, I don't know. Something came over me and I just started writing feelings down and things that I was coming to realize that, you know, us as humans, we can't, it's our job to protect ourselves, right? That's a fight or flight. And so I was being selfish in a lot of ways and not realizing how hard this is for her as well. I see her physical health and all that, and that's one thing, but the emotional things and the mental things that she's got to deal with, I had to sit down and really try to make sure that I understood where she was coming from and where she's at mentally and physically. And the writing was on the wall. I mean, you can see it on her face. You can see it in the things that she's doing. You can see it in her daily actions, how she's worried, how she's scared, and I didn't write that post in an hour. I wrote it over a couple of weeks. And by the time I was done writing it, I was like, wow, there's something here that I didn't realize this. I was being very selfish over these past, few years with her, constantly coming home, what, geez, I can't wear cologne. I can't put on this deodorant. I got to change this. And really, so I guess at that, it's happened over time, because I've shifted to, hey, I make her pick out my deodorant now at the store when I go, like, here, does this smell okay? Is this going to give you a problem? Like it's taken time. It's not, there was no defining moment. It's a work in progress for everybody. And it's not, it will never stop. I'll never stop, trying to be better for her, and my family ever. Um, I am not perfect. I make mistakes. I get frustrated. I, you know, trust me, I'm not I'm not always pleasant.
What? I am shocked.
I'm
This
not
is
always
new
pleasant.
revelation.
I have my my bad moments, and it's something I'm working on still. You know, we don't have to get into all that, but all I know is I try to get up better every day and put the right foot forward and do the right thing for my family. Try to be the best version of myself for them, and that means I'm constantly growing. I think that's what we all should do. I it it it's been cool though to see something, changing myself. And I don't need specialty. Like it doesn't matter. None of that stuff matters. All that matters is that they're happy and healthy. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters to me.
But like you said, it's cool. So because when, and again, you're how do I say this without sounding uh, you know, your story is not unique in that realm of like because you and I have talked about this before, like we both struggle with this where you see your life one way because you're always looking at these things that why can't I do this? You're frustrated because you can't do that or that. But then to see that your actions affect the rest of your family, you start making those changes and start improving yourself and working on yourself, and then see how that affects your entire family. That is cool to see. So what's one of those things that's when you say it's cool, like can you give an example of like where you see something that's changed positively, in the last couple months or a year or whatever?
Really, it's okay. An example would be something I've seen in my oldest daughter, who again wasn't as affected as much, that we know of. We're still not sure. We think that maybe some things affected her. She did have some skin problems and stuff when we lived in the house, but no, just me changing my attitude about things. Before we would both get frustrated with her sister, and me with Lauren, and I've shifted gears to try to be more patient and understanding about what's going on with them and listen to what they got to say. And I've noticed a change in her, with following suit. She tries to sit down and listen, and we use each other a lot too. She'll talk to me about things she's frustrated with and what's going on, and I'll help her through it, and vice versa. I'll vent to her sometimes, like, I think this is silly and I don't, want to do this, but this is what we're doing. And she's like, Dad, this is why. And so it's been really, that's what makes it cool, is that it's a growing experience for all of us. It's really kind of bonded us in a different way from other families, I think, going through something like this. What do you call it? Like a trauma bond or whatever. It's like,
Yeah.
we're starting to really kind of get it in flow as a family that lives through this every day. Where if you would ask me 2 years ago, 2018, 2019 early, I'd told you I don't know where I'm at or what I'm doing or where I'm going to be. But now it's really cool to see how much we've grown as a family.
That's awesome, man. And that is really cool to see when you start, trauma bond or whatever.
I don't know if
It's a real thing, right? That was a better way to put it, because I was like, well, when you go through shit together, you stick together. So
yeah.
I don't that was a really good way to put it, but that's cool, man. It's cool to see you showing up, and I think that's probably the biggest takeaway, that when we show up as men, as husbands, we start doing that growth. Kids are watching all the time.
Yeah.
They are ridiculous when it comes to that sort of stuff. So that's really cool, man.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that you guys are seeing that and seeing that positive side of this stuff. So going from there, like where do you see yourself going from here? And what kind of advice would you give to other men?
Other men that maybe are just starting out going through this? Be patient. Be patient. She's not crazy. Something's going on.
At least about mold.
Yeah. Yeah, she might be in other ways, but about this, and we'll try to listen. Get an expert to come out. If you have a hard time believing, call Texas Mold Inspectors, call Josh and Emily. They're amazing people, do a lot of great work. I will tell you, we actually, when we lived in the apartment, Lauren was wanting to have Josh come over to the apartment and have it checked out, and I told her no. I was like, no, because I ain't ready to move again, because I know he's going to find something. And he actually
told us there. La la la.
He actually called and told me that. He was like, "Man, you sure you want me to come?" I was like, "She wants you to come." I guess I said, "No, I don't want you to come, but she wants you to come. Come on." So no, just be patient, and try to understand and listen. A lot of times I didn't listen to Lauren in the beginning, and it took a toll on our marriage and our family because I was being stubborn. Um, you don't want to believe that something that is nearly invisible is ruining your life the way that it is, and you want, I'm always about the quick fix. Just take care of this real quick and we're done. We just need to move on. It'll be done, over with. And here we are, 3 years later, 4 years later almost, and we're still going through it day to day. It takes time. I think there is a light at the end of the tunnel. I haven't reached it yet, but I'm very, positive about it being there. I'm starting to see it. They both get better each day. That's not to say they don't have good days and bad days, but the good days are getting more and more outweighing the bad. Get them out of the environment if that's what's needed, fix the problem. Just try to be as understanding as possible. They don't expect us to know everything and know how to fix it, but try to learn with them. If they're anything like my wife, she's an expert on all this stuff, way more than I am. She can tell you every illness, every symptom, every kind of mold. She knows more about this stuff than I could ever. She's forgotten more than I know, I can tell you that. And I think most women, they're not asking you to necessarily be that expert with them, but to just be patient and try to understand. That'll go a long way and help you out if you are struggling with this. Don't give up. It's not worth it. You can get through it. It's what we're supposed to do as the head of household, is be strong. So I don't know if anything I've said today makes any sense at all, but I'm
No, it
I
does.
feel like I just keep rambling.
No, that's why I'm not saying anything. You're saying good stuff. It's not just rambling. It's good. It's good stuff. And I think it's just even from some of our other conversations, just in life, I think the more we get some of the stuff off our chest, the more it's a little easier to actually, when you hear it, say it out loud. And then even more so when you hear somebody say it back, they're like, okay,
Yeah.
all right, I'm not crazy. I know, okay, she's not crazy. Even if I accept that, am I going crazy now? Is this contagious?
Yeah.
So no, I think it's needed, man, because like I said,
It's really good to have validation and talk to guys that are in the same situation. It was one of the refreshing things about meeting you, Derrick, and Josh, and going to some of these events for Malachi's message and meeting other people that are affected by it really helped out a lot. Because all of a sudden as somebody dealing with this with a family and not being sick or whatever, I'm not alone anymore. It's like I have somebody, whereas before, I can't tell my best friend about this because he has no idea what I'm going through. And, so it's cool to have people that are in the boat with you, and also that I can help as well. I like being there to help people and give my advice as much as possible. I'm not an expert at any of this, but if, just somebody asking, hey, what did you do when this happened? And I tell them what I did, and whether it worked or not, help somebody, then awesome.
yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
So so we got to find a way. If you ever have free time to start racing again, we got to find a way to get some Malachi's message swag on the car.
Absolutely. Yeah, they actually sponsored my car this year, so I do need to get a sticker on it. I reached out to Emily for
Take the money
for it.
back.
I haven't. She's supposed to send me the logo, but they're moving, so I'm sure I'll get it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Hopefully by next weekend, because I am racing next weekend. So
Are you?
yeah, I'm gonna be in Page, Texas, racing. So just outside of Giddings.
Nice.
Yeah. So Yeah.
So
That's another thing. If you know you want to talk about advice, get a hobby, man. Make sure you do stuff for yourself. Take time for yourself. This is not easy.
yeah,
That's something I'm an advocate for the gym, and you know my other hobby is racing. You know, to me, gym is kind of a mental health thing, and then racing is my hobby, the thing I love to do. So get you some of that, and it'll make things go a lot better too. There are days that you know I don't want to, you know, I'm frustrated or upset, and then I go to the gym and I work that out. You know, it helps me be better for my family, and you know they've been really understanding with allowing me to do the things I need to do to be better for them.
yeah. If I didn't get off work so late, I would probably do the gym more. Um, but I know, like you said, there's even been days where I've like stopped outside the gate, drop down and do push-ups in the driveway,
Yeah,
just because like okay, I need to do something physically to get this
it
out.
helps
So
get it out. Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
So yeah, so we gotta find more guys.
yeah. I really want to do something like a retreat. Or not even a retreat. It doesn't have to be start out as a retreat. It can be a monthly meeting at
Club.
friggin' Hooters or something. I don't know. We can like it could be anything.
You want, yeah.
You could just go
I
to
swear, babe, it's for the mold group. Okay,
yeah.
it's for the core group.
It's maybe I shouldn't have said Hooters, but you
Yeah,
get what I'm
I
saying.
mean,
Like just and you know, not like just a help each other out session to just kind of talk and like I said, help each other and give experiences on what we're going through and how it helped each other. You know, how the different things that we've done have worked and not worked, and what we're going through, what we're frustrated with, and I think all of that would be very beneficial to men going through this. And yeah, I would love to do, or you know, some kind of retreat. I don't know how that would all play out. It's in my mind. It's something I came up with sitting, actually driving home from work one night. And man, it'd be so awesome if I could just go somewhere this weekend and shoot a gun and build the biggest fire I can build, and you know, do some fishing and not shower if I don't want
so
to.
here's
And
my only thing. Can we? What is your what fuel are you running in your car for races?
we run 93, just pump out of the pump.
Does it run pretty rich?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you just bring the car out that night? We'll just sit there and idle, and I can stand by the exhaust and.
There is a special fuel that I'll run on special occasions called MR12, and it is one of my favorite smells in the world. Um, but it's, I don't know what it's
There's a
like.
giant fire. There's a race car just revving to the moon in the background. There's people shooting guns. Like this is.
It is illegal to run in your car on race day, but I'm not to say nobody does it. But yeah, it I love that smell. We put it in my car 2 years ago. And every so often, I think the sponge in my fuel tank was holding on to some of it. And every once in a while, I'd catch a whiff of it and just like, oh yeah, that's the stuff.
That's the good stuff.
Yeah. We'd be in the garage working. I'd be like, "You smell MR2?" He's like, "Yeah." So,
Well, yeah,
but
man,
I don't know what like a little 3-gallon drum of or 5-gallon drum of it used to be like $140. I don't know what it costs now.
no, it's probably you got to mortgage it. So,
Yeah.
well, yeah, man, we gotta get together and put together because I think that's really powerful, and I think it's really something. Um, I think that's something that's needed because, like I said when we started this, I've heard of so many stories of husbands and wives not getting on the same page, or and it's not, and not to say it's always the husband's the guy that doesn't live. It can be either party,
Yeah.
but more so, and I've had the same thing, guys, and I have the Malachi's message sticker on my hard hat at work. And guys go, what's Michael's message? I'm like,
Yeah.
um, uh, and it's so unheard of. And then I think beyond that, what compounds it, again, you were in oil field. Now you've crossed over to the light dark side of
Crossed over to the dark side.
yeah, of the electrical world. So, but anything in construction, you don't sit there on your lunch break and be like, hey man, I really just need to talk about my feelings and I'm frustrated. Like that doesn't,
Suck it up, better work to do.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's needed, right? I think it's helpful. It's something that's in the right timing, in the right place, the right people.
Yeah.
I think it actually spurts growth. So we're gonna have to get together and put something together. So
yeah, I'd really like to collaborate on a list of guys that might be interested, and with you and Josh, and kind of sit down and maybe do a reach out and see who might be interested, and be willing
so
to do.
would you be open to like there's other guys or somebody's wife, sees this and passes this podcast or this video, the YouTube video on along with their husband, are they able to reach out to you and be like, hey man, are they able to reach out to you on social media or anything?
Yeah, I mean, I'm on Facebook and that's about it. I'm not on it a lot. I mean, I get on Facebook, but I don't really do a lot of social things.
We're not giving out phone numbers here, so I mean, I guess yeah. That being said, I guess
Elizabeth would be the best person probably to set up how to get a hold of me, or to do that. You guys have my numbers and all my information. If we want to put that out or put it in a link, I'm fine with that. I'm more than willing to talk to people that want to talk about it, and be there for anybody that wants to. Even if you just want to tell me you're pissed off, and I mean, I'm cool with that too. I've worked construction my whole life.
You don't know me, but I'm just pissed.
Yeah. You want to just call somebody and vent, that's cool. But
you're gonna regret this in about 6 months, because you're gonna have to make
probably I'm gonna change my number.
Facebook.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to have like a new private Facebook account that's the real Brandon Cloud.
Yeah.
And but cool, man. So if there's anybody out there, if somebody's watching this, feel free to reach out to me, Derrick Cripe, on Facebook, or you reach out to Brandon Cloud on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because we are sticks in the mud about social media, and we don't have any of the Twitter, Insta, Snap, whatever.
If you guys want to get a hold of me, go reach out through Malachi's message or Elizabeth Cripe or Lauren Cloud, my wife. They can get a hold of me, either one of them. So there's a whole chain of command there that I'll be reached, and I'll be happy to talk to anybody.
Nice. And the other thing I got to shout out real quick is if there's anybody that you don't know about our Pie in the Face fundraiser.
Oh yeah.
That's another way to help that's going on right now. Is your face in it this year?
It is.
It is.
Yeah, I was in it last time too, last year.
Well, yeah, I don't know how mine didn't wind up in there. I think I just said no. I ruined a good pair of line boots. Ruined a good pair of line boots over that. So I love this, man. So there'll be if you're watching this, there'll be links down in the description of how to get a hold of us. There'll be links to the fundraiser for Pie in the Face. And again, a big shout out to Canine Mastery. If you want to get your dog trained, get some quality stuff, that's going out there. Brandon, dude, thank you. This has been really good, man.
Absolutely, man. Pleasure.
So, be looking for this. Share, like, subscribe. Is that a thing? I see that on other videos. Just feel like that's what we're supposed to do, but
I have no idea.
We'll probably never get asked to do this again, so that's perfect.
Me too.
So, thank you guys for watching, and we will, we'll see you next time.